Hello and welcome everyone again into another video, and today's video we are going to talk about the Jungle Cup. As you guys know, this week we have Ultra League and Jungle Cup, so we are going to talk about Jungle Cup. If you need like an updated video about Ultra League, please feel free to leave a comment down below, and if I see enough requests, I will make like a part 2. Because I feel like at the beginning of the cup, like the teams will be different than 1 week after. So if you guys want to, just make sure to leave a comment. But today's video is about Jungle Cup. So what is Jungle Cup? Okay, I don't know why I had that. Jungle Cup, it's a great league format this rotation. It's not Little Cup format for once. This one used to be a Little Cup format, except this rotation. It's normal, grass, electric, poison, ground, flying, bug, and dark type. So steel, I mean, I can't say no steel because there is Steelix, which is ground. There is G-Fisk, which is ground. So is there any dragon here? I think there is. I mean, we have dark, so we might see some Guzzlord action. So let's just go and talk about the Pokemons. I divide them into 3 different categories, like good leads, charge moves. Charge move, like I just meant to say spammy Pokemons, and bulk. I don't know where did the nuke came from. So these are like some bulky Pokemons here, and yeah, good leads are generally Pokemons that do have like fast move pressure plus charge move, like some spam ability, like a bait charge move. And the best definition about that is Mantine. It has a wing attack. It's similar to Gligar, wing attack, aerial ace, but this one has ice beam. But remember that Gligar and G-Fisk are banned. So that what makes also Vigoroth the best lead as well, but some people will be trying to hard counter that, so that means also you expect Vigoroth to be a good safe swap as well. This is one of the cups where like Vigoroth will be everywhere, as again, like that was like Evolution Cup wasn't the only cup where like Vigoroth will be everywhere. I mean, it's just a nice Pokemon, so if you have it, well, congratulations, you've earned the best Pokemon in this cup. But according to PvPoke, as we can see here, Steelix is number 1, Skarmory is number 2, Clodside is number 3, Vigoroth is number 5. I mean, we have 2 Steelix, right? Obama Snow, if you have the Shadow one, it's number 6, Mandibuzz, Quagsire, Skarmory Shadow, Stunfisk, Unnerve, and Stunfisk, the ground electric one. Guzzlord and Mantine. Those are like the top 13 on PvPoke, but there are some Pokemons that aren't mentioned on the PvPoke ranking, such as Toxapex, okay? But that doesn't mean Toxapex is good. It's just here because it's a bulky Pokemon that you could use. And it's actually like a nice counter to Vigoroth, because most Vigoroths in this cup will be running Rock Slide. Nobody runs Bulldoze anymore. Chansey is an option, but thank God it's actually a bad Pokemon, because Mandibuzz should be around everywhere. Whiscash is now a good answer to this thing, especially when you get like, you keep spamming debuffs. You don't win, but it's actually not a bad matchup, because Chansey is a Pokemon that dominates neutral matchups. Charge move, another like charge moves are Pokemon that just spam charge moves and they don't have fast move pressure usually. And the biggest definition about that is Swampert. I don't know why I have him on top and I have him here. Clodsire, 0 fast move pressure, only charge move pressure. Uneven, Stunfisk, Obama Snow can be actually here like as a good lead Pokemon. But the thing about Obama, you need to avoid the Vigoroth. Shadow Quagsire is a nice Pokemon. The problem with it is like, you always prefer to have a Whiscash, to be honest. The Scald is just too good of a move to be skipped. You know, you can't skip that. Something to mention here, if you're an Air/Slash Mandy, you have a better matchup against Vigoroth. Also, if you have Snarl, make sure you run Dark Pulse, because Snarls plus the Dark Pulses are enough to KO the Vigoroth. Is there anything? Guzzlord is a thing in this cup, but the problem is that Steelix, Vigoroth are the best 2 Pokemons here, so it's tough to use it. Similar to Lickitung, it's tough to use those 2 Pokemons. For the Skarmory, I think it has a decent spot in the meta, because it technically like wall. I mean, I wouldn't say wall. Like the Vigoroth matchup is a neutral, but you know, like Skarmory, you can just stay in, take a body slam, then swap out, and then like use your energy later. Some other stuff to mention here: Pyro, no, don't use it. Charizard is eligible. Technically, Sableye is eligible, but I wouldn't use it day one. That's too risky. I would use this guy, Incineroar, right? Or whatever his name is. He should be good, but remember that this cup is dominated by Whiscash slash a Swampert, so you need to be aware of that. So hopefully you don't get, caught off guard. So if you watch this channel, you know that we always advertise something called top 3 PvPoke, which is basically the number 3 Pokemons on PvPoke. So we have Steelix number 1 and 2, and then we have Skarmory, so that's technically Skarmory and Clodsire. Why Clodsire is here? I mean, technically Clodsire has decent potential in this cup, just like Clodsire only lose to the hot counters. It should win all the neutral matchups, and it's technically a ground Pokemon. It's a poison Pokemon that can beat the steel. So you remember, you resist counter, you have a good matchup into Vigoroth, especially since they don't run Bulldoze again. So that's a good matchup if you beat that, and the Obama Snow matchup isn't bad. Remember, you could run Sludge, you could also have Rock Slide. And moving into other teams, like this team is good on paper, but that doesn't mean this team is good. What's a good team though? Well, according to PvPoke, if you use a Steelix, your best coverage to Steelix is actually Vigoroth, and the best thing that covers those two is Altaria. Why Altaria and nothing else? Because Altaria is the Pokemon that destroy the Mud Boys. Like Whiscash, a Swampert has no play against the Altaria. I know Altaria is nerfed, got nerfed twice, but it's still a tanky dragon that can destroy the Mud Boys. If you hate Whiscash and Swampert, I think Altaria is the Pokemon you are trying to use. The team technically kind of like Obama Snow core break it, but that's not the end of the world. Steelix is a neutral matchup, Vigoroth destroys it. Altaria can have some play with Energy Lead. But that's not going to be the team I would be running. I think the team I will be running will be Vigoroth, Obama Snow, and Skarmory. And something to mention about the Obama Snow, if you run the Shadow, you need Wither Ball. If you run the non-Shadow, which is the normal one, you need Icy Wind. So make sure you choose the correct moveset. Why Wither Ball on Shadow? Because you don't live long enough to throw 2 Icy Winds. Why Icy Wind on the non-Shadow? Because you're technically bulkier, so you can afford building up more energy to throw an Icy Wind, and Icy Wind can give you like a decent play in this meta. Like if you look at the top ranking here, nothing here appreciate an Icy Wind. Most of these Pokemons like either like let's say they swap in Vigoroth, you have energy, you can throw Icy Wind and then switch out after. But remember that this meta will actually, like, people have to respect the Mud Boys, which means they have to use Flyers. So this is where, like, I think this team will be good at. Why do I have Wooper? ABB double Flyers. Remember that you need Vigoroth. It's kind of a must in this cup. And you use Mandibuzz to bait out the electric slash the steel, because Skarmory is the steel that lose to every other steel. So you use this Pokemon literally just to bait out Ufisk if they have it, Whiscash if they have it, Clodsire if they have it. Well, Clodsire matchup is not supposed to be a horrible matchup, but I think it's bad because technically does 2 Stone Edges KO? If it does KO, I don't think so. If 2 Stone Edges KO, it's a bad matchup. If it doesn't, it's a fine matchup. I wouldn't say it's good. You're supposed to lose, remember that. And you have a Skarmory later to finish the game. As long as you bait out the electric with Mandibuzz, I think you should be in a good situation. Now, moving into another ABB format, which is, I'm supposed to be the meta, like this team is very meta in the open Great League with Lantern here instead of Swampert. But remember, since Lantern is water and doesn't have any of the eligible types, a Swampert can, like, says hi because a Swampert has ground typing, and it beats Whiscash, a straight Hydro Cannon, while Whiscash technically gets, like, Whiscash is 5'4", Swampert is 5'4", except that Swampert gets to a good, like, OP charge move, while Whiscash gets to, like, an average charge move. A similar team to this team that is anti-meta, you could use actually Mantine with Ufisk and Clodsire. Why Mantine? I think Mantine is technically like a great answer to Vigoroth, because you resist counter and you do like neutral damage with your like aerial ace and wing attack. You might need to land an Ice Beam against the Vigoroth, so make sure you check your matchups on PvPoke before you start playing the cup. Wait, let me double check something. Okay, I said like Lantern is not eligible, but now I remember that it's subtyping electric, and electric is eligible, which means you could use is this? Yeah, this is the next team. So as we said, I was saying like electric is not eligible. Well, this thing is ground. Ufisk has a decent play because it's the like it's better against like, you know, better than Clodsire against the Flyers in this cup, and since like Gligar is banned, you're in a better situation because Ufisk beat Mandibuzz and Skarmory, and the Vigoroth matchup is not technically bad. It's playable, and if people started using Mantine, Ufisk destroys the Mantine. So this is something to mention about Ufisk. I didn't want to mention it in the teams, but then I looked at the meta, like the meta is kind of weak to Ufisk. Like, now someone was like, no, it's not weak in the comments. The meta somehow might be weak to Ufisk, so that's why I mentioned it here. And if you like Core Breakers, remember that Vigoroth, Obama and Lantern are all good, great core breakers. Vigoroth is the best Pokemon. This team technically struggles against the opposing Vigoroth, but to be honest, Lantern into Vigoroth is actually a good matchup for Lantern, as long as they don't have energy lead. If they have Vigoroth energy lead, it's kind of tough, but then you could just replace this with like, I don't know, Mantine or Altaria. But I would say Altaria is not as ideal because it takes forever to get to a charge move. Bait out the Vigoroth. This team is basically like you use a Steelix to bait out the Vigoroth, and then you finish it later with Mantine, and you have Guzzlord in the back, because Guzzlord technically doesn't appreciate seeing Steel Pokemons or Vigoroth, so you need those two to handle those stuff, and Guzzlord to handle everything else. I try to keep it as short as possible. I know like usually these videos get to like take about 20 minutes, but like I don't know, I felt like it shouldn't be that long for the video. So yeah, thank you so much everyone for watching. If you guys like this video, please leave a like. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and see you in the next video. Peace.